should have went up there. Now I have to go witness. But you know, after I thought about it, it's kind of an honor. It's not too easy to get up and to tell how one's life's been changed. But I do know, as Father said, God does work, and He's alive and well. But I think that is up to us to search for God within our hearts. He is there. I remember about in the early 60s, I saw a priest, ordained there, the actor, Father Bearsart. He made me a lay leader, April 11th, 1967. I remember the date. And then I was at the Lower Brew at a wake. It was there that I began to work in the church hard. And I never thought I was worthy. But I kept trying and trying and trying. In 1968, I had a conversion. I think God spoke to me through a spirit. The spirit came in the form of an old man and talked to me. The next morning, the man was gone, but there was 3 cigarettes that were still laying on the bed. And so it could have been my imagination. I went off to Bible school, left the Bible school in 68 and went back in 69. And again, I never thought I could ever get that far. God led me back to the Christian training school. It was there that I met my wife, Sue. She was washing dishes, and I saw this girl in her. I was really looking at her. And she looked back at me, and there was instant love, I think. That was a snag. Well, anyway, that led to me courting her for 2 years. She fooled me, though. She's from Oklahoma. She told me she had the oil. But anyway, I continued on in Bible school and finished Christian training school in 72. But at that time, 6 months before we got married in 71, my father had passed away in 68. But he knew that my dream was to become a minister. And he told me the hard times that went with it. And I was willing to take that chance. In 1981, my mother passed away. She knew that I was pursuing the ministry. But at that time, as Father Estes remembers me, I was no good. But I kept trying. I prayed a lot. There was a lot of times I cried. I didn't think nobody liked me. And this was the dreadful disease of alcoholism that works within our community. Well, I listened to my wife after I finished book school, and she encouraged me to go to college. Well, I tried college. I did okay. And in 1974, Bishop Walter says, go down to Swanee, Tennessee seminary. Well, it was kind of a cultural shock for me to go down in Swanee. I met Bishop. He was just a professor at that time. That's where I met him. And I stayed down there and I wasn't ready. Spiritually, I wasn't ready. I really had not accepted Christ into my life. And I quit seminary. I withdrew and went back to Arizona. My wife had just had her second child. Again, I went the wrong way on the road. Like something keep pulling me back. And finally, I transferred to Oklahoma, went to school over there. And one morning in 1979, after the semesters of Oklahoma State University, I felt a sudden urge to come back to church work. I told her I wanted to go back to church work and try to become a minister. I don't think she believed me. I called Father Ron, I think at the Vermilion that time. He said, well, I called out on Santee, and his father Lester, I killed him. So I called him. He said, well, I called Bishop Walter. came back. And I stayed there as a lay leader in the University in 67. I've had my hard times, but I do know it was during the hard times that I prayed a lot. Maybe not kneeling down or opening a book and praying, but praying within the mind, within the heart. Well, I decided I want to go to seminary. I said, well, if I'm going to go to be a minister, I'll actually seminary. I was young enough to go to seminary. The bishop told me to hold off, but I was determined to go. I even threatened to come to the convocation and tell him that he didn't want me to go. Finally, he finally decided to let me go. And I had Father Kilstro's support at the time. He was behind me going to seminary. I went off to seminary and I never thought it was possible. And it was hard, I admit that. It was hard being a minister. The road to ministry is filled with many ruts and obstacles that you cross. And I've been through that. And there will still be those obstacles to cross even as a minister. But you know, I have come to believe now, as I knelt down before Bishop Craig last Friday, that God has been calling me for a long time, since 1967. But it was me. I was not ready. There was a lot of things within my heart that I would not give up. My pride was so large that I didn't want to listen to anybody. But as I began to rub that away, get that out of my system, I found that I was okay amongst my mistakes and problems as a person. We all have them. But I'm concerned about my life. God had taken me from the age of 1968. I used to say jail cell. And he had turned my life around. So when I knelt down before Bishop Craig, there was many thoughts went to my head. I thought of my father, Eagle, I thought of Grandpa Bill Boyce, Uncle Eugene Brotherball, Uncle Dan Quote. When he was playing those tapes this evening, I began to think of those people. I wish they would have been there. But I knew they were there in spirit. And there was a lot of friends that came, and those friends will always be with me the rest of my ministry. As I'm out now and I wonder, what did I get myself into? Did I give my whole life to God? And I found out I did. I think I've given it to him a long time ago, but I was just a little stingy with giving myself up completely. But I gave it up. I've committed myself to the Episcopal Church and the rest of my ministry also, as Bishop did, to his diocese. It's been a long haul. But there are times that I stop and I talk to God. I know he's went through, has went through a lot of hard times. He was tested many times, but his Father believed in him. He had a purpose in his life. And we all have that purpose also in this life. And I think we have to look for that purpose, to nurture it, work it, and make something happen out of that. Make something blossom from that. Because as I stand here, I'm scared. And I've never really taught about what Jesus Christ really means to me. But there's one thing I do want to ask. I want to ask a question right now, and it's a quick response. How many are Christians? I want to see some hands. There's not a whole lot of hands out there. There's more Christians than that out there. But you know, I grew up not wanting to say I'm a Christian, but I say that now. I'm a Christian. I have given myself to it. Lord, but you know, he has plans for me. I heard a saying the other day about footprints. There were many times in my life that I thought I was for Jesus. And let me down. There was nobody really supporting me. There was a period of time when I was in seminary, we had no bishop. I felt that no one really I rejoiced when he was consecrated. When he was consecrated, I too knew that there was that chance that I could get ordained in St. Dakota. It was only after those years, going to seminary without a bishop, after Bishop Jones had left, I had no contact with his diocese. It was prayer. Prayer alone that pulled me through in a good life. A wife that believed in Jesus when I let him down. When I began to turn my back. It was my wife that pushed me. And probably kicked me too. But it was her who really brought me this far. It reminded me of the hard times and the good times that was ahead. So tonight I tell you, I do come and I witness before you that Jesus Christ is alive. And he's working. But he's working in people. And he's working in organizations. And he's not going to come out in a big audible voice and say, why do this? Father Ron do this? He is going to provide a way for us to know, or he is going to speak, seeking you to your hearts. So you have to remember that Jesus Christ is alive today. Because he brought me through some hard times. And I owe him a lot. Praise God.
After the prayers, we might have some announcements. Can you kind